Welcome back, educators! We've reached the final layer in our MTSS series, Tier 3 Interventions. Over the past few weeks, we've explored Tier 1 and Tier 2 interventions. Now it's time to talk about Tier 3, the most intensive level of support in the MTS framework. In today's video, I'll explain what Tier 3 interventions are, who they're designed for, and how you can implement them in your classroom or school. Let's get started. Tier 3 interventions are the most targeted and individualized supports in MTSS. These interventions are for students who have not responded to Tier 1 and Tier 2 interventions and need more intensive, often one-on-one help. Unlike Tier 2, which often takes place in small groups, Tier 3 focuses on individual students. These students may have significant academic gaps or persistent behavioral challenges that require customized support. Who benefits from Tier 3 interventions? Tier 3 interventions are the most targeted and individualized supports in MTSS. These interventions are for students who have not responded to Tier 1 and Tier 2 interventions and need more intensive, often one-on-one help. Unlike Tier 2, which often takes place in small groups, Tier 3 focuses on individual students. These students may have significant academic gaps or persistent behavioral challenges that require customized support. Now that we know what Tier 3 interventions are and who they're for, let's look at some examples of how Tier 3 interventions can be implemented in both academic and behavioral contexts. Let's start with academic examples. 1. One-on-one instruction. Tier 3 interventions often involve one-on-one instruction, allowing educators to focus directly on the student's specific academic gaps. This can include individualized reading support, math remediation, or targeted writing instruction. Example 1. A reading specialist works with a student one-on-one for 20 minutes each day, focusing on phonemic awareness, decoding, and comprehension strategies tailored to that student's needs. Example 2. A teacher provides daily, individualized math instruction on foundational skills like place value, number sense, or multiplication for a student who has not responded to Tier 2 interventions. 2. Intensive reading or math programs. Some students may benefit from intensive intervention programs specifically designed for Tier 3 students. These programs typically use structured, research-based methods to address severe learning gaps. Example: implementing intensive math programs like Number Worlds or Do the Math, which offer targeted support for students with severe math gaps. Let's talk now about behavioral examples. Functional Behavior Assessment FBA and Behavior Intervention Plans BP. For students with significant behavioral challenges, Tier 3 interventions often begin with a functional behavior assessment FBA to identify the underlying causes of the behavior. Once the FBA is completed, a behavior intervention plan BIP is created to provide individualized support. Example 1. After conducting an FBA, a student's BIP might include strategies like scheduled breaks, a reward system for positive behavior, and teaching alternative behaviors to reduce outbursts or disruptions. Example 2. A teacher works one-on-one with a student who has frequent behavior issues, using data from the FBA to modify classroom routines and expectations, ensuring the student's specific behavioral triggers are addressed. Individual counseling or mentoring. Tier 3 behavioral interventions often involve more intensive emotional and behavioral support, such as individual counseling sessions or regular check-ins with a mentor. Example: One school counselor provides weekly one-on-one counseling sessions to help a student develop coping strategies for managing anger or anxiety. Example 2. A student is paired with a staff mentor who checks in daily to support the student's social-emotional development and reinforce positive behaviors. Monitoring and adjusting Tier 3 interventions. As with Tier 2, monitoring progress is crucial in Tier 3, but it becomes even more intensive. Because these students need highly individualized support, regular data collection and assessment are key to determining if the intervention is working. In Tier 3, Interventions should be adjusted as soon as it becomes clear that the current plan isn't producing the desired results. This might involve trying a different strategy, increasing the frequency of interventions, or, in some cases, referring the student for a special education evaluation. It's important to continually assess student progress and make adjustments to interventions as needed. For example, if a small group reading intervention isn't helping a student improve their fluency, you might need to try a different strategy or a different set of reading materials. To wrap up, Tier 3 interventions provide the most intensive and individualized support within the MTS framework. While only a small percentage of students will need Tier 3 interventions, the impact of these targeted supports can be life-changing for those who do. As educators, it's essential to remember that the goal of Tier 3 is to help students make progress and succeed in the general education environment. Whether through one-on-one instruction, individualized behavior plans, or targeted academic programs, these interventions are designed to meet each student's unique needs. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the MTS framework. We hope this series has given you valuable tools to support all of your students. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.